they're also not mining that when they're burrowed. So every second they stay burrowed is like Bisu being up a base for 15 seconds or something like that. Every 15 seconds they're underground, but they're back up now. So Bisu hasn't killed anything, but he's done a little bit of delaying. And here's a 4th base and a 7th hatchery or something like that for sAviOr. And sAviOr is really getting his macro going. He is he is the epitome of macro Zergs. But Bisu is scouting this, and the whole purpose of Corsair Reaver is to be able to take out, when you scout a base just going up, to be able to deny it. And oh no, wow, how does this shuttle keep? This shuttle is living on the edge. This shuttle is the Clint Eastwood shuttle. You think it's going to die like 30 times, but it always lives, and it always is like awesome like Clint Eastwood. And there's a DT in sAviOr's main, and it looks like it got quite a few. The observer failed to click on it before he saw how many kills it is, but there's a second one, and oh no, here comes the overlord, so that's going to die. But the drone saturation at the main looked pretty poor, so I'm guessing that Bisu took out a lot, maybe 8 drones, and if he did, that's great. And he's getting his 3rd base up, and he'll be in great position once that up. And here's sAviOr's first-person view. You can see, and it looks like there's a big attack that we're going to see from sAviOr's first-person view. There's 2 Reavers that he's attacking, and he almost got in and killed the shuttle, but the Clint Eastwood shuttle, again, just avoiding all harm, except for in Gran Torino when he's old. But like the Clint Eastwood of young avoids all trouble and just wins, and is very sexy while he's doing so. Not that I have a crush on Clint Eastwood. But there's a Archon now. I think that would have been better off in the form of Storm. Look at those Reaver shots. Oh, one of the Reavers goes down. That is like that Reaver was not like Clint Eastwood. It was more like the ensign in Star Trek who goes on the away mission and is doomed to die because he doesn't have a name. But he took down a lot of Hydralisks in the process of dying, so he did pretty well. And that entire attack was managed to be fended off by, it looked to be only 2 Reavers and maybe like a Zergling, or not a Zergling, a Zealot. Why do I confuse Zerglings and Zealots? They're not even close. But the other Reaver is being focused down. It's a pincer attack. I told you that the 3rd expansion is rather hard to defend, and sAviOr is making great use of that, coming in from both directions, and trying to spread out his units as much as possible so that the Reaver shots aren't as devastating. But the Reaver shots are still devastating. That Reaver must have upwards of 20 kills. They just clicked on it, but I didn't see how much health it had. And look how some of those Corsairs were flying with their engines on, and some were just like coasting. I don't know how or why that works, but it's really weird, and I don't understand it. But anyway, Corsairs getting caught in Hydralisk fire, taking out maybe 1 Overlord, maybe I missed it taking out more, but Bisu's putting a lot of money into just defending this 3rd base before he can even get it up. But it's a good investment because he really needs to get it up, especially because he's going to start worrying about his main base being mined out, and he's down 4 bases to 2, so he really either needs to take out the 8:30 base, or he needs to establish his 3 o'clock base. And there was a Reaver shot coming out of, I have no idea where. It just seemed to come out of the abyss and kill a Hydralisk. There's speedlots, and I don't know how they got trapped surrounded by Hydralisks, but they did, and they were not happy about that. And here comes the Clint Eastwood shuttle, and they were showing that there were Scourge, but I doubt highly that it's gonna. No, you gotta micro that, Bisu. For all that I talked about how baller that shuttle was, you just go and lose it like that. So it's a 4 speedling drop, and it looks like he was trying to focus down some tech, and he almost gets the Hydrogen, but doesn't. But that begs the question: even if he had, what's a Hydrogen? 100 minerals and 50 gas, and it's not like it's upgrading anything at the time, so that seemed kind of wasteful. And what Bisu did scout with that is the tech switch into Mutas, which seems downright stupid considering the amount of Corsairs that have been produced. I guess perhaps that many of them were taken out by the Hydralisk, but there's still a big force there, and I think he's going to have a fine time. And a storm, that kind of a self-storm, that was actually a really bad storm because it killed his own High Templar. But here come the Corsairs, and there go the Mutalisks, just like melting like bugs in a bug zapper, except flying shrimp in a bug zapper, because that's what Mutalisks look like. And if you can tell, I'm not working on very much sleep, or if it's apparent, it's because if it's apparent that everything I'm saying is stupid, it's because I don't have much sleep. But here comes some High Templars, and we're going to see how one of them gets taken out before it can even utter a storm. There's a really good storm. sAviOr, it looks like, was busy elsewhere in that battle and didn't manage to dodge it at all, and that storm took out like six Hydralisks. But meanwhile, the Corsair is winning the battle in the air, but on the ground, it looks like the last Reaver has been taken out, and there's still a huge mass of Hydralisks pushing into Bisu's third base, and Bisu's in a lot of trouble. All that defends is cannons and like one by one zealots. But here comes a lot of Overlords. Could he possibly have Overlord drop and or just to detect desperation DTs perhaps? And all the Corsairs have gone down now, and there's Dragoons, which don't do very well against Hydralisks at all. And I don't know why it's produced so many Dragoons and not as many Zealots. But he's biding his time until his High Templar can get up storms. But the High Templar are in danger of being picked up before they can even get off their storm. I don't see. There they are. Where are their storms? They're in. It's really like desperation mode for Bisu right now. He's in a lot of trouble. I think he's managed to restabilize himself, but he was down to the wire. All the cannons in his third base were destroyed, and his entire force was destroyed. But luckily, he dwindled down sAviOr's force so much that sAviOr was forced to stop his attack. But there's so many Overlords, speed upgraded Overlords. And do they have a drop in them? I have no idea. Another shuttle being lost. Bisu, you were doing so well, kind of by luck, that sAviOr was just letting his stuff die. But it looks to me like that is a doom drop. It could just be a distraction. Well, it is a distraction. That was a complete fake that caused Bisu to recall his forces. Meanwhile, sAviOr just attacking into the front, and he's really managed to divide Bisu's base from his troops. And he fell victim to some great storms by Bisu, and it looks like Bisu's even pushing this back. So that was a brilliant strategic move, but sAviOr's tactics just let him down. He didn't dodge storms, and he lost. I think he lost like a dozen and a half Hydralisks under like 2 swarms. If you want to rewind, the observer pointing out that he's still on lair tech, so no swarm going to be coming out. Even considering that there's a huge massive Dragoons to deal with the Mutalisks, and there's a lot of DTs that have been produced. I guess Bisu, to try to come back in this game, because he's getting harassed by Mutas right now, to try and come back in this game, I think he's going to try to do some counter harassment. And sAviOr is trying to focus down the pylons, and if that other pylon goes down, and it looks like Bisu just built another pylon so that would not happen, that all 6 or something of those gateways would be unpowered. But here comes the DTs, and there's nothing over that base. But meanwhile, another gigantic attack. But just the way things are swinging, look how clumped up those Hydras are. One storm could kill them all. But I don't see a storm. There's still a lot of Hydralisks remaining. Where are your storms, Bisu? What has he been? And of course, there's still Burrow. Here comes some High Templar. But the Mutalist snipes it. This could be the turning point. This could be the game for Bisu. He's being forced to evacuate that third base, and he's mined out at his natural. And that DT was met with Burrow, because sAviOr was on top of things. Either that or... And there goes the Nexus. And so Bisu is completely mined out, and it might turn out, and there's all the probes he evacuated. He clicked them all on gas so that they could, think they had a purpose. But really, Bisu is screwed in this game. I don't even know if he has 400 minerals left. This is a desperation all-in attack, and sAviOr's not even microing. Now they've started microing again. He's going to take this, and so he's going to take another trivial game off of Bisu. And GG coming from Bisu. So sAviOr takes the 7th game for the Zerg team, and Zerg is superior to Protoss, apparently, although I'm still not buying it. Although, I think a better indicator of what's better, Zerg or Protoss, would be to watch the MSL finals, which are on the Vitaltech account between Luxury and Jangbi. You know, that's a more meaningful Zerg versus Protoss match than these group of sets. There is Jangbi. There's Jangbi and Best that Bisu's consoling himself with, and sAviOr just sits back. And he never breaks a smile. He's just gonna take a sip of that drink and know how awesome he is. And Bisu looks disappointed in himself. But cheer up, Bisu. And now sAviOr's joking around. Cheer up, Bisu. You won where it counted. You got the Star League, and you knocked him out of the Ever OSL. Like in their entire lifetime series, it's now 5-2, I believe, or no, 5-3. In favor of Bisu, but sAviOr is getting close to evening it up. Alright guys, thank you for watching this commentary, and I hope you enjoyed.